Hi everyone. In this video I'll show you two of my favorite ways of tying a green caddis larva. Both of these versions are tied on a Kamasan B420 hook, and I use an olive tying thread to both of these. Some people call these check nymphs. I call them larva because they look like larva to me anyways, but these are really good all around wet flies. Basically, where I fish, every river has these kind of insects, and I have caught many a grayling and trout with these kind of green larvas. In the first version, I use light olive colored scud bag. They can be a little bit slippery when you start attaching them, just be careful. And when you have it on tightly, you can just stretch the latex a little bit when you work your way down to the bend of the hook. As a rib for this fly, I use monofilament fishing line. This is Thorax tippet material, so it's basically 0.18 millimeter thick. When you've attached the rib, you start making the body with some olive colored dubbing material. Hare's ear works quite well, squirrel. This is blended squirrel-antron in olive color. It dubs quite well on the thread. You don't really need wax or anything for it. Good tip here is not to put too much dubbing at once. It makes the body making a little bit easier and more even. Make the thorax area a little bit thicker with the tying thread, and I use Peacock to the thorax area. Attach the peacock with a few turns and bring the thread close to the hook eye. You can use only one peacock quill here, but these are from the tip of the feather, so I used many ones. Snip off the waist ends, and at this point it's useful to make a knot with the whip finisher, so when you start rolling the scud back and the rib, the tying thread won't escape from behind the hook eye. Little sip of coffee before continuing, and grab the latex, work the rib the right way around, and this for a beginner might require a little bit of dexterity, but you have to change hands on each turn with the rib, and you have to keep a light tension at all times. Don't pull the latex too hard or the rib won't bite into the latex, so you won't get the kind of like segmented looks to the body. And also you shouldn't use too thick line because the thinner line will bite into the latex, making the segmented look way better. Also, the thicker line is more stiff and will slide more easily. Work your way up and just keep the tension so it won't come off. All the way up behind the hook eye. And when you're there, keep tension on the rib, grab your bobbin, and when you have secure the rib and the latex, tie them off and on the both sides. So first you tie them behind them and then in front of them to make it tight and snip off. So we're almost done. We've finished the head. I like to do a double knot just to make sure, usually, and a little bit of super glue to the head so it won't come off when I'm fishing with it. As a final touch to the larva, I use dark olive permanent marker on the scud back to give it a little bit of different color on the back. The tan light olive scud back is a little too light in my liking, so I like to color them a little bit with the marker. Okay, so the larva number 2. A good point at this moment is to debarb the hook, so you won't have to do it later. I use the vise usually to do it, just put the hook point between the vise jaws and cross it. So it's the same hook, same tying thread. Work your way down. And this time I use a little bit different latex. So this is not scud back, this is Kylie's nymph skin. And it's kind of like creamy white natural colored latex. You attach it the same way you would with the scud back. And stretch the latex a little bit when you work your way down to the bend of the hook. Now here it gets different. I won't use in this version dubbing at all. I just use the olive tying thread to make a little bit thickness on the body, and I leave the bobbin hanging to the left of me behind the vise, and I attach another thread, this time black. Now we use the latex a little bit differently in this version. Now I start to make rounds with the latex, and again be careful how tight you stretch the latex, and each turn should go maybe 1/3 or half the way on top of the previous turn, so that way you get the segmented look on the larva body. Now, how tight you pull the latex. If you pull it too tight, you won't get much of the segmented look, but if you don't pull enough, you won't have the green thread under the latex that visible. Make it all the way up. Use the black thread to secure. That would be enough. Snip off the latex. That's enough for the black thread. So make your way to the hook eye, tie the thread with your whip finisher and cut off the thread. Next we'll go back to the original olive colored thread that's behind the hook bend. Now we use a tan colored dubbing, same material as the previous one, different color. Use it really sparsely on the tying thread. We'll make a rib with it. So you can stretch the dubbing material on the thread a little bit so there won't be too much. Try to follow the segmented parts made with the latex so you won't break the looks with the rib. A little bit more dubbing. I like this version because I can make a lot of variations and kind of like a broken color to the fly. For the thorax area I will use black hare's ear, and I will brush the thorax area so that it becomes a little bit more fuzzy. You can play with the colors, and I like to do that when developing different kind of larva flies. Now that's just make a knot. I used the dark olive permanent marker for the thread. I like to keep the fly head a little bit darker. You don't have to change the thread, just use the permanent marker on the thread. And now the final touch. I have Pantone system markers, so this one is 116 yellow color added to the nymph skin, and the natural color latex takes different kind of colors on top of it quite nicely, so this fly gets a little bit of like broken color between olive green and yellow, and the result looks really good to my eye. And just brush the thorax area to make it a bit fuzzy, and apply super glue to the head. And we're finished. Thanks for watching.